Welcome back to the Dean Obeidallah Show. We're live here Friday, May 30th. It's third hour on Friday, which can only mean one thing on this show. It means different things on other shows, but this show, it means what just happened. So we look back at the insanity of the week. We have three returning champions. We have Zoe Levy, who is back, a New York-based comic and writer, touring all over, and also cat sitting. She produces a show here in New York, maybe even New Jersey at this point. But Zoe, in any event, good to see you.
Thank you.
Also back, Leighann Lord. She's been seen on Comedy Central, HBO, The View, Def Jam Comedy's 25th anniversary, and of course, Showtime's Funny Women of a Certain Age. We had Carol Montgomery on last week, in fact, and she has a dry bar comedy special, I Mean Business, and probably other stuff that we'll talk about later. Leighann, good to see you.
Good to see you too.
And look who's here, direct from Aruba. No, he's not direct from Aruba. It's Brian Scott McFadden, national headliner, who's been on Late Night with David Letterman, Late Late Show with Craig Ferguson, Star Search. I probably voted for you. Comedy Central voted many animated characters over the years, Ice Age 2 and Robots and so much more. And not cat sitting, but behind a brick wall as if it's a comedy club, which is great.
That's right, baby. I actually I had the shortest tenure of Star Search champion in the history of comedy. They shot two shows, one in the afternoon and one in the evening, and I was the Star Search champion in the afternoon. 2 hours later, I was dethroned.
Wow.
Okay, so yeah, that's my favorite credit.
Who beat you? You remember who it was?
Bob Zaney.
Bob Zaney. I know the name.
You can't. First of all, right away, I'm in trouble because Bob Zaney. When your name is Zaney, unless my name was Brian Wacky or Madcap or something, I was already in a hole. So there you go.
Brian, you remind me of this. David Lee Roth, a long, long time ago from Van Halen fame, said something that always stuck with me. He goes, in this business, you're here today, gone later today. And he goes, that's not even tomorrow. And he was he's right. How things are so ephemeral with any kind of success in this business. You go, you're hot for a minute and then you're gone.
That's amazing. That's the second great quote from David Lee Roth about show business. It's true. David Lee Roth said most critics don't like Van Halen. He said they prefer Elvis Costello to Van Halen because most rock critics look like Elvis Costello. Okay, and I thought that's a genius observation about art and journalism and show business.
I don't look like Elvis Costello, but I far like Elvis Costello over Van Halen. Even though I grew up in the time of the heyday of Van Halen, didn't like it, but I love Peace, Love, and Understanding and Oliver's Army and all that. Elvis, I still listen to Elvis Costello at the gym because that's my life. All right, let's get back to the real world event. What happened this week? I found this really entertaining. The Wall Street traders have come up with a new acronym for Donald Trump, TACO, as in the food. But what it means is Trump always chickens out. And it's about his tariff policy and more. But first of all, it's funny on its own. Second, it's even funnier because Trump was asked about it by a reporter to his face. And I'll read the quote. He got really upset. This happened Wednesday in the White House. They said, what do you think of TACO? He goes, don't ever say what you say. That's a nasty question. To me, that's the nastiest question. That's the nastiest question right there. TACO. Zoe, what do you think? Do you think it fits the acronym? Any other do you think of for Trump?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, this is just the worst possible insult to call a showboater. So it's pretty nice to hear that Wall Street traders are jumping on this boat.
They call them a TACO. I love it. He always chickens out, and they've profited off of this. Leighann, what do you think? Any other? I was thinking what other things there could be, like wacko, but that's just not even an acronym. That's actually a descriptive adjective to use for Trump, or I'm not sure what else. So I find joy in that it upset him because this is the king of nicknames. He loves giving nicknames, and now he's
I absolutely love this. But this is kind of classic bully behavior. Like the name caller in chief can dish it out, but he can't take it. Like, oh, dude, you're so weak. But I'm actually impressed that the finance bros got a backbone, and they're trying to eat the hand that they're biting the hand that's feeding them, or overfeeding them, I should say.
By the way, Leighann, have you ever been called an acronym as a nickname growing up? Is there any? Did you have any nicknames?
No.
None?
No.
You had zero nickname. No one ever called you a nickname. There was never. Everyone was always Miss Leighann Lord. How are you?
Well, on the inside, my family's kind of from in that way. That's a very deep cut Dune reference. But yeah, I mean, I would be called baby girl or boo, but that's inside. Outside, no. My given name is my name that you call me.
Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't even mean to infer that perhaps.
No, I'm just saying, it is pretty shocking. It is pretty shocking that I don't. I just don't.
Lord, if you're nasty, that was a really kind of thing. So Brian Scott McFadden, first of all, that's not even your name. So you have a nickname. because your name is
What's
Brian
that?
McFadden.
Yeah,
You don't
Brian
even.
Scott McFadden is my real name. Yes.
I
What
know,
am I
but
using
you
it
were
for show
Brian
business?
McFadden for a long time, but then you had to add a middle name, so you have a nickname in a way, Brian Scott McFadden.
That's only because there's a British singer, an Irish boy band singer with my name, and that ruined my life. Basically, I had to use my middle name because there was like 16-year-old girls were finding me on social media thinking I was him. So I had to, not that I have anything wrong with that, but there are legal issues involved. And so I had to put the kibosh on that. But my nickname also, along with Leanne, was Baby Girl. When I was yeah,
I
which
There you
used to
go.
call you that. Baby
and I
girl
think
Brian
that
McFadden. I remember
that's
that.
right. That was actually my nickname. Also, I think that would be a better nickname for Trump, actually, from his behavior in this. He's definitely acting like a
Absolutely.
baby girl. And you know what I love is the fact that Trump went from building a wall around Mexico to being named after some of its cuisine. Like I think
Ah,
that's a real
very good.
major to Trump's. No wonder he's getting very angry. It's like he's not going to be. Yeah, we're going to call. I was trying to work on some acronyms, but I just couldn't come up with enchilada, burrito. You know what I mean? There was just a lot of verbiage, and I only got these an hour ago. Oh, sorry, Dean. So I
I-
couldn't come up with an acronym for burrito or churro. Maybe there's something
that's a
there.
lot.
Yeah.
I was looking for PBJ. I got Putin's bitch, and then I couldn't find the J. I'm like, what would the
Right.
J be? I'm
Right.
like, what would that be? So, Brian, you never had a nickname growing up? Like I was Dino, of course. Owe me a dollar, which I got a lot. Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Really.
Those aren't nick. I guess those are nicknames. Those are alter egos that Zayn Malik. I got that. No, I never got that. I'm just saying that now. But I
Uh-huh.
was a boy band
I
guy.
just had
You
I
never had
just
a
had
nickname?
the teacher said get out. That was basically I was constantly being thrown out of class, right? So I thought that was my nickname for years. Get him out of here. Have him removed. I don't know. That's it. I had nothing else.
No, well, you must have had a nickname. There must have been something,
Yeah, I had a few.
and you're not going to share
Yeah.
them with us.
Zoster, Zoabella,
Zoabella?
Zozo,
I
Zobi,
believe yeah. I
Zobi?
believe
Zobi.
that's good.
Yeah, because
That's
I had an affinity for basketball growing up.
McFoo.
Ah.
Three hands. Yeah.
I had McFoo for a while. That was in my
McFoo?
grammar school days. Yeah, McFoo. Don't ask me why. That never caught on. I had no idea.
Owe me a dollar made sense because my last name's Obeidallah. Obi-Wan Kenobi
Yeah,
made sense. McFoo makes no sense. Dino
yeah.
Bedalia. I got that a lot. And then later in life, other things like terrorist, but that's different. So, Zoe, did you like any of those nicknames? Were anyone like you were like that? Yeah, call me that. Did you ever say my name is this, but people call me Zoster? Like go with that or no?
No, it was like dads to kids I nannied who'd be like Zoster, and I'd be like, what the? Okay. I like
Yes,
Zozo. I like Zoabella.
that Zoe was very nice. All right, so now we got something else happening. We had Donald Trump. This has not been a good week for Trump in terms of being mocked and maligned, which it brings me joy. I mean, it's kind of inappropriate that I enjoy this. He got mocked on Russian TV because he was screaming, Vladimir, stop about bombing Ukraine. It's like, Papa, please, Papa, stop. It was like he's in Vladimir, stop. And he's like, please stop it. He says, lots of really bad things would have happened already to Russia. And I mean, really bad. And you're playing with fire. And then Russian TV, literally on their official state account, put about what he said. And then he wrote, until he posts the opposite tomorrow morning. I'm like, oh my God, that's like Taco. Like you've gone. And then on Russian TV, they just mocked him. They're going, we're winning the war. Why would we stop? Brian, you do Russian accents, don't you?
Yes, I can do if you like. I can do whatever you like for this
Okay.
show at these prices you're paying me. If you want to, at these and getting woken up early in morning for this, okay?
It's noon.
But what's funny about show about this is what is funny for me because Trump is always tough guy. So this now he went from war games and Red Dawn to headers. They're just like they're the Mean Girls. It's just become if you're using the language of 80s movies, it's like stop it, Vladimir. Can you just be nice and just I don't understand this. It's just like you're being mean and everything, and they are mocking him like calling him tacos and things like this. It's
Not good.
hilarious.
Can you say the line that the Russian host said with your accent? He said,
Yeah,
why
yeah.
would we stop? The enemy is strong and cunning, and we are winning.
Why would we stop now? The enemy is cunning and we are winning.
Okay, that's it. This is
Again,
like
what am I?
this is
I'm like AI. I'm like an AI on the
you
show
are.
now. Just
None of us are
yeah,
real
just
anyway.
translate that. Yeah,
This
whatever.
is this
Yeah,
segment brought to you by StarNet. The future is
yeah.
is bleak. It's gonna. Leighann, what do you think? Do you? I look. I'm not rooting for Russia, but I am rooting for Russia when they mock Trump. I mean, this actually happened on their
Mm.
account. And what's remarkable is American media doesn't like write about it much. Like if they had mocked Biden, Fox News would have loved it and talked about it all day. And look how weak he is, and all this. But here's like Russia's mocking him on state TV, and we're like, well, we're the only ones talking about it. What's going on here?
Well, you know exactly what's going on. He's their guy, and they're going to ride for him as long as they possibly can. I really think the headline, though, should have been roasted by the Russians. I mean,
Mhm.
Good God.
in the roast battle
Mhm.
of this, he is
Mhm.
so losing. And I am loving it. Brian, kudos on your accent. I only have one word of Russian. It is devushka.
What does that
Devushka.
mean?
It's like sweetheart.
Oh, really? That's
Yeah,
your
well,
that
yeah.
was your
Why
nickname. You
why
should
would
have
I know
shared that with
that
us. And
word?
right, have you
Was
dated?
in the
All right.
dating market for a while. Words happen.
Zoe, I mean, is there is some fun? Usually, if a foreign leader country is mocking our president, I might be like, "Oh, that's unfair. Let's stand with the U.S. president." But with Trump, no. I'm like, this is good. They're mocking him on TV. You've got Wall Street mocking him as a taco. In Russia, they're saying until he posts the opposite tomorrow. I think Russia got him. Do you think Putin? I don't know if there'll ever be a ceasefire in Ukraine because Putin has no respect for Trump at all.
Yeah, and the way that they've their drone capacity has increased. It's pretty scary. Honestly, I think Putin's like the one world leader who's worse than Trump, but I do like watching Trump get mocked at any expense.
It's in,
I think it's funny as Trump was supposed to be such a tough guy, but Putin's like a real dictator. Trump is a game show host playing at one. And Putin is like a real. So those guys never like the guy who's playing them on it. Like watching the guy portraying him. He's like, look at this guy. He's getting all the press. It's like if you're what's his name, the mob boss guy. Look at it. I'm sure he probably likes watching The Sopranos, but I'm sure he's like us watching a guy playing a comic on TV going, that's not the way it works. That's not,
oh,
no, no, you
right.
know what I
Hmm.
mean? No, that's terrible. No, that's not how, when we see the movie Punchline or something, no, that's not the way comedy works. And Putin's like, this
Or
is not you have to poison people with plutonium. You have to murder people with that. And Trump is not doing any of this. This is fake dictatorship.
it's
Okay.
like watching Greg Gutfeld pretend to be a
Right.
comedian on Fox
Yeah.
News. He's awful.
Whoa.
Ooh,
He's not.
shots
Wow.
fired.
He's
Shots fired.
awful. We all know.
Damn.
Can we all just say? I'm sorry. Do you guys go on Gutfeld? Go on Gutfeld. I
Um,
don't care if you go
I'm
on.
sorry, I don't even have
He's
that channel in my package, so I don't know what you're
he
talking
is
about.
where comedy goes to kill itself. Like it doesn't die. It takes its own life before it comes out of his mouth. It is a horrible. Even for whatever. Zoe, you don't watch Fox News? I know. So
No, but Putin must be like one wife, like no harem. That was a
no.
horrible accent,
Yeah,
but
well, we don't know what I wonder what the relationship is now. I don't really care anymore. Like, I just want Trump to go away. I had an expert on tyranny on who said in the post-World War II era that people who are aspiring dictators or dictators, and Trump's an aspiring one, usually 70% end up in prison, dead, or in exile. I'm like, were those the options? Because I'll pick, but I don't think that was like that was the bot. Like that's a menu. Here's your menu, and I don't know what I would pick. I don't. I think prison. I would like prison for Trump so we can go visit him and mock him. But then the MAGA people would break him out. It'd be like an old Western. They'd show up with a F-150 and a rope and tie it to the bars or something.
How do this suddenly became the Shawshank Redemption here? What's going on here? I think they should have a game show, America's Next Top Autocrat or something, and let's just have
Ooh,
all of the dictators on it. This is how we should elect. Everything's become show business anyway. The whole thing. I just can't take it anymore. I hate the fact that my industry has been hijacked by politicians and people. What's his name from the Ukraine is a comedian. You know
Zelensky.
what I mean? I
Yeah.
like that's yeah. Zelensky's a comedian, and that you know what I mean. And that merely makes me feel bad about my. If I was, I don't want to be in a green room with that guy trying to, outdo him on bad gig, stories.
Right.
Yeah, I had a bad time a bunch of guys didn't I didn't laugh. I was doing an Elks Club gig, and he's like, "Oh yeah, did these KGB try to poison your entire family? That was my difficult gig, okay? And I'm doing same." Hey, tell me again about the bunch of Shriners who didn't laugh at your Uber bit, okay? Like, oh,
And
thanks,
I'll show you an
thanks.
image of my house that's in rubble. Right, exactly.
Yeah,
I know what you're
thanks.
saying.
I mean,
Well,
but I mean, you got to have a little sympathy for him. How hard is it to be a comic in Ukraine, to make money when your side hustle is being president? I mean,
do you think he draws? Do you think he's like a lot of? He's not touring right now. But when this is
no,
over, I
not
wonder
talking
if
right
he
now.
tours.
He stepped aside, to spend more time with family. What? I have no
I
idea what
wonder,
he did.
Leighann, it's interesting though. I wonder if he's done his present. Does he go tour doing comedy around the world? His English is really good now. I remember when we met him, his English was not very good. Now
Well,
his
like a
English
lot
is
of people
excellent
here, their
on the
English
show.
isn't very good. No, no, I
On the
mean in the
show, on
United
the
States,
show,
People on
on
this
the
English.
show.
show,
When I met
right?
Brian, he just a lot of grunts and nods and pointing
And
at
Yeah,
look,
yeah,
yeah, and
yeah.
look at him now.
yeah. Look at him. I'm chatting with Zoe Levy, Leighann Lord, and Brian Scott McFadden, who have nicknames. We're not going to use them. So let's change gears because the hits just keep coming for the Trump team. They're going to keep us safe. And we know that because we learned this week that the White House Chief of Staff, Susie Wiles, had her phone hacked. And now impersonators are contacting senators, governors, and top U.S. business executives pretending to be her by way of text. And the worst part is, if you read the story, it's unbelievable. They think it's her and they're responding. And then they said they got suspicious when she asked about money, like wiring them money. And I'm like,
Yeah, when
I think that is,
when they asked for your routing number, that was really not that was right the tip off right there that when they called me and they asked for my routing, my Swift code and my routing number, I was like, wait a minute, wait a second, who is this again? And
Susie
her name is
Wiles.
yeah, Susan. Wow. Well, maybe you know what I mean? I don't know what's going on. This is just it doesn't really fill me with confidence. That was it a Nigerian prince calling as well? Because I get that call all the time, like an
Have you ever
email.
gotten scammed? Zoe, Leanne, or Brian, have you ever gotten scammed by the online scam? Have you ever fallen for anything in terms of those kind of Zoe
No, I
never?
keep the.
A
Oh, I
millennial.
love when they
Not
call.
a
I
lot.
love when they call. I love when they call. I just keep them on the phone indefinitely. Because I always go. I always do a. I just go. Hold on a second. My cat's filled with. Wait a minute. What is this again? You want my Swift code already? Hold on. I know it's here. Phyllis, have you seen my Swift code around? And I just keep them on the phone. Wait a second. My cat Filbert is climbing on the drapes. I'll be right with you. I got Filbert, get down there. I got an important number to give me. And I just keep them on there. And then eventually they hang up on me. It's great.
That's how
Right?
you, Zoe, do you ever interact like I literally just now while we're sitting, I'm not joking, got one of the fake things like you owe a ticket for the DMV of New York and
Yes.
Yes,
click on
yes.
our
The
link.
unpaid toll
It's
tax.
here, New York deal. I literally just got this, not even joking. And
Mhm.
and of course it's like DMV.gov/Russia top, like,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's like Boris /pay.
Boris
And I'm like,
Badenoff.
yeah,
Okay.
I
Yeah.
don't think I'm going to pay that. But sometimes I text back like, hey, send me more information. This sounds interesting. Just see what happens. And they never respond, which like, so I don't know I don't
Oh.
get the scam. Like, is this just like, have you ever got the message people calling and it sounds like it's
I think they
Mandarin?
just want you to click on the link.
Yeah, which
Yes.
I'm not going to do. And then they get your whole phone stuff, right?
Mhm.
Has anyone ever done that?
No.
No. Brian?
It's
I've
the-
thought I wanted to on the phone just to see what happened because it's not my computer. But did you used to get those messages that were in clearly like an Asian language? I assume it's Mandarin. I'm not very good at languages. And it would be like a long message. And I'm like, what is this? And it would happen a lot. And people are like, we get them too. I'm like, whose sense of enjoyment is doing a robocall in Mandarin to random people? Because someone's doing that to enjoy it. They're not making money. I don't get it. Like, you
It's
guys
the
never got
chief.
that.
It's the chief of staff of the White House. That's obviously
Susan
who it
Oh.
is.
Wiles.
It's Susan Wild is calling me to get my Easy Pass bill taken care of, which is really nice. I mean, the Trump administration
Well,
is doing some good things. You got to stop knocking them. You
I,
know what I
I
mean? They're making sure that easy people can't slack off on your Easy Pass. That's not good.
that's how I used to do a joke about how and when I say used to, I mean like yesterday, about how those phone calls in Mandarin. I'm like, what do you do about it? People are like, nothing. I don't care. I'm like, yeah, but if you got those phone calls and they were in Arabic, you'd be worried. I was like, it's like da, 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 Statue of Liberty, da, 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 like
Yeah.
Pentagon. I'm like, all of a sudden it's creepy, right? I'm like, you racist. That's my head. And that's my catchsphrase. You racists. That's it, Brian.
Oh,
That's your
that's
version
been
of
the
oh
catchphrase
yeah.
since that's been a
I'm
catchphrase since
kidding.
1619, sir. Welcome to the party.
Wow, that's just good. I'm sorry, I have to go to HR. That's banned because DEI got dropped. No, we still DEI. All right. So this is, despite the week of Trump having a horrible week, thankfully, Congressman Greg Steube from Florida, who's just a dumb idiot, and Zoe's woke up with the huge cat, wants to rename the Washington, D.C. subway in honor of Donald Trump. And he's threatening to withhold federal funding until they rename the Metropolitan Area Transit Authority. I'm not kidding. Here's what it's called. Make Auto Rail Great Again Act. That's the name of the law. And it would be Make America, and would have to come out to MAGA, and you'd have to use terms like Trump train. And I'm not kidding, or if they don't get their federal funding. Now, it doesn't matter if it's going to pass or not. This is the beginning of the building the Saddam Hussein statue to Donald Trump that we're going to have so in every town, and this kind of bullshit. So Leighann, I mean, we know Trump wants to be a dictator and fascist leader. He loves this. This is like the dream. Like everywhere you look, there's a big thing of Trump.
I don't know, y'all. This seems a little redundant to me. Like isn't the current occupant of the White House and his henchmen already running a train on America?
So this is, I like this. So
Wow.
Somebody had to say it.
no, that's fine. And so
Running a train on America. There you go. That's going to be on my bumper
Susan
sticker.
Wiles just texted me, inviting me
That's
to
my
that.
T-shirt.
Like Susan Wiles is texting me about the train that's showing up soon. What else are they going to name after? So Zoe, what do you think? What else do they name after Donald Trump in the future? I mean, I want, after Ronald Reagan, they named the airport in DC.
Nuclear
I wonder what's
bombs.
fitting for Trump. What did you say?
Nuclear bombs.
Nuclear bombs after Trump? What about courthouse? What about the courthouses he's appeared in? Just name those the Donald Trump courthouse. This is where Donald Trump was. Like, George Washington slept here. Donald Trump was tried here or was arraigned here.
Southern District of New York.
Like all over. And you have one in Georgia. He was arraigned there. He was arraigned in Florida. Like Donald Trump was arraigned here. They're going to do things. Brian, I mean, what more will they do? They already talked about Mount Rushmore adding his stupid face to it.
Look, if they can make the trains a little more efficient here in New York, they can name it after Trump any time. If they can get the A train to stop running delays when I have a set downtown, can they do that? Then we can call it the Trump train. I don't care what it's called, as long as it shows up. And when it shows, and how like you're late, and then the thing comes by and it said, no, they're not stopping here.
Right.
They're big. No, wait, no, and I want to jump on the thing. So, I mean, let's castigate all we want here, Dean. But how efficient are the trains? And first of all, they have a train in Florida. What is it in Florida? Since when?
This is DC. This is Washington,
It's the
D.C.
bus?
No, this is
There's a
Steube, a
subway?
congressman in Florida that wants to throw back
Oh.
funding to the D.C.
Okay.
train just to
Yeah.
name it. But so if the A train became the MAGA train, like the M big A G A,
Right.
but it's on time, you're on
Yes.
board. You wear the hat.
Yeah.
You go,
Sign me up.
Brian, you got to wear
Sign
the
me up,
MAGA
Dean. I'm
hat.
sorry.
The train's on
There are
time.
limits there are limits to my political outrage and needing to
Wouldn't-
get to gigs on time. Trumps anything else, including naming the train after Trump. Okay,
Wouldn't it
I gotta
be
get
more-
I gotta get to work.
Wouldn't it be more accurate if we rename that for the Staten Island ferry? I mean, that would be a little bit at least closer to home for these folks, wouldn't it?
But calling the Trump, like the Trump ferry?
Yes.
Yeah,
Why
no,
not?
because Staten Island is somewhat Trump country, I
It's
believe.
the only borough that
Somewhat,
voted for
somewhat,
Donald
just a
Trump
bit.
in 2024. It is and they love Trump there because there's not. I don't want to say anything. It's just there's Staten Island. I drive through sometimes to go to the Jersey Shore because you avoid traffic, and you go through and you're like, how could this be New York City? Like there's
I don't know.
it's like
By the way,
open
Staten
land.
Island. Look, people castigate Staten Island. Staten Island's an interesting place. And a lot of people don't go there because
Right.
nobody comes. A lot of people, unfortunately, New Yorkers, people come to visit New York, and no one ever says, which is sad. No one ever says, "Oh, you're going to New York. You need to see Staten Island." Okay,
They wouldn't say
nobody ever
that.
said
No
that.
one would say
Which,
that.
and
Right.
and it's hard. The reason that they don't is because it's hard to get there, because you have to take a time machine to get there. It's very difficult to get to Staten Island. You have to take a time machine. It's 1978 there. I don't know if
You
you've
guys
been
didn't move from
there.
at Grandpa's. Remember Grandpa's
It,
Comedy Club?
no, it's Ed Koch is still, yes,
He's
Grandpa's
still,
Comedy Club. Ed Koch is still the mayor. If you go there, Ed Koch is still the mayor. And yeah, Reggie Jackson is still playing. If you turn on a TV and watch a Yankee game in Staten Island, you know how like
they,
you go to a foreign galaxy and the visuals haven't shown up yet because the speed of light hasn't. Yeah, you go to Staten Island and Reggie Jackson and Thurman Munson are still playing for the Yankees. It's
yeah,
unbelievable. Yeah.
it's earlier than that. I think it's before the Civil Rights Act
There
and
are
voting rights act.
There are Trans Ams everywhere. Off-track betting. The nothing and porno places. There's nothing has changed. It's 1978. It's
So
amazing.
Brian is the borough president of Staten Island. Apparently, he's
Yeah.
giving a breakdown of you have to go visit Staten Island. I'm talking about Zoe Levy,
Yes, you
Leighann Lord.
need. Everyone
Brian,
needs. It's a museum. It's like a 1970s New York museum. Everyone needs to go there. It's awesome.
all right, let's take a break and come back, and we'll talk about why I'm ordering Cindy Sweeney's bathwater. And Elon
Mhm.
Musk is leaving the White House, and we got a lot more to cover. So let's take a quick break. We're going to come
Yeah.
back with more of the show right after this. And welcome back. We're continuing what just happened with Zoe Levy, Leighann Lord, and Brian Scott McFadden. So Elon Musk is leaving the White House, at least allegedly. We're not sure. Although, by the way, the New York Times had a front page article today that his consumption of medications went way beyond ketamine. This is real, I'm not kidding. That he took ecstasy, psychedelic mushrooms. He traveled with a daily medication box that held 20 pills, including Adderall and other stuff, according to photographs. He was taking it on the campaign trail. And they can't confirm that he was taking it in the White House, but I can confirm he was taking it in the White House just by watching the guy. None of that is surprising. So Elon Musk is leaving. How will he be remembered? Zoe, when you think of Elon Musk and his days in the White House, how will you reflect back on that time?
As a plague on education department and the American healthcare system. I think it's crazy because he's a scapegoat. Like they're letting the way he squashed all these investigations into his various corporations is just so corrupt, like different level of corrupt, like Putin level corrupt.
You're absolutely right. And I wrote about that. And I did Freedom of Information Act requests to all those agencies saying, what's the status of the investigation into Trump, into Elon Musk? And I got these form letters like, we're considering your thing, never got a formal response. And so you're absolutely right. And that's an underreported story. I wrote about it for Substack, of course, because that's what I do. But in the mainstream media, they were missing most of it. So Zoe, excellent. Leighann, when you think about Elon Musk, is it the Nazi salute? Is it them holding his son on his shoulders? Is it the gutting of the VA so our veterans don't have the benefits they need? Like, how will you unfondly remember this piece of garbage known as Elon Musk?
I actually try not to let him take up the precious space I have, limited space I have in my brain. I wish for him what Xerxes wished for Sparta, that his name be erased from the histories. That is what I wish.
Wow,
Wait,
that's
wait.
some reference. That is very good. Xerxes wished for Sparta. Did it come true?
No,
Oh,
no.
wow. That's
Because we know Sparta. We've seen the 300 and
Yeah.
multiple times for some of us. But yeah,
All
no,
right.
Well,
he's
did anyone try to name a train after Xerxes in Sparta? Does anyone know if that was named after that? I just don't know.
the Xerxes Express.
Because my
Yeah,
next
that was
door
big. There was a
neighbor,
movie about that. I saw
there's
it.
a guy named Xerxes Yablonowitz lives downstairs. I couldn't believe it myself. But yeah, Xerxes
So,
is going to be, yeah,
well, Brian, hear me out.
yeah.
Do you think Elon Musk could be the first human manifestation of AI? Like he was sent by Skynet to kill us all? Because I saw a documentary about Skynet years ago, and
Yes.
Schwarzenegger did the voiceover, and it's really the end of time. And I think he is that guy. I think
Wait, you
it's
saw
him.
a documentary
It's a
about
documentary.
a
I saw,
fictional
oh,
organization? Yeah,
that was
okay, that's
not
great.
fictional. That was
Yeah, no,
for a sneak
Skynet.
preview.
Okay,
Yes, that was
yes, you,
and they went back in time, and Sarah Connor
yes,
was also
right,
in this AI. It's
yes,
over. Like, look, the best part about AI is because sometimes I'm neurotic. I'm like, how am I going
yeah.
to die? What's it, cancer or bust? No, AI. We all know AI is going to kill us. So on some level, I sleep better. This is the weird thing.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, listen, the thing about Musk, a lot of people don't recognize, it's easy to throw stones at the poor guy, but you'd be traumatized and have a lot of damage too if your mom posed for the swimsuit issue of Sports Illustrated. She's like 78 and
what?
she May Musk. Look it up.
Are you
Google it.
serious?
I'm not
I thought
joking.
this was like some apartheid Sports Illustrated
No, this
South
is
Africa
absolutely
doing in the
true. The
1970s.
swimsuit issue, May Musk, his mom, posts for the swimsuit issue.
Was
And
that
if
the
that
whites
doesn't put,
only? Was that the whites
Oh,
only edition?
I cannot confirm nor deny any of that. You'll have to look that up yourself, but that would do damage to any young man. Okay, I'm
I'm
just
not
saying.
adding that to my search history. I'm not doing that.
I'm just saying that could explain a lot.
Your
Everybody's
cookies,
not,
you
yeah.
if you search May Musk bathing suit, your cookies will be screwed up. You'll be getting emails
That's right.
from
That's
sites you
right.
don't even imagine.
She's 78. Okay. I'm glad I grew up when I did. I had Kathy Ireland and Paulina Porzakova and Christy Brinkley. Okay. And now you got
That
a
was
whole generation of young men completely traumatized because they've been forced to pleasure themselves to Elon Musk's mom. Okay. And I don't support that. I just want to say that. I don't support it. I don't think it's right. And I think it did severe damage to this poor
Leanne.
billionaire.
I
Leanne,
hate
you
to
do so,
say this, but on one side of this, isn't this ageism? Like
sure.
it's, I
It
mean,
is
there's
definitely
a
it
kink
is.
for everybody,
No, it
right?
100% is, and we're owning it.
Of course it is. Of course it is. I'm never averse to going for a cheap joke here. This
I
is a
think it's
horrendous.
ageism
Yes,
Same.
mixed with sexism, and I think that's a cocktail
yes.
Brian and I grew up on.
It was the
So I
only
mean,
look. You called me
I'm from
this morning.
Jersey.
It was the only angle I could find. Okay, look, you called me this early. I only had an hour to come up with some ideas. So this,
Leanne,
this
you've
the
done stuff
And
with like,
you come up with more in an hour than most people come up with in a year, sir. So your
yeah.
skills
Well, I do what I can.
are up there. Yes, my
Leanne,
dear.
don't you do things with like science fiction stuff or with actual science stuff? Like with I can't remember. Was it Neil deGrasse Tyson? Didn't you do something with him? And
Yes, I was one of the co-hosts for Star Talk Radio with Dr. Tyson. I've emceed science
yeah,
and skeptical conferences, and I'm also a nerd. I go to Dragon Con. This will be my 11th year going because
wow.
I'm a super nerd.
So
And I err on the Star Trek side of the
right, I
debate.
knew Star. So tell AI. I mean, are you happy about it? Are you concerned
No,
about it? Is it going to kill us? Like, what's tell?
I am not. First of all, humans don't need any help. We're killing ourselves on a daily basis.
True.
This is what
Good
we've
point.
done for centuries. It's just this is just a new tool to do that. I'm not happy about it. I do not use it. I feel like this is my line in the sand, like here and no further. I'm having trouble with the ethics of it. It is theft. They've found a way to outsource their racism. Like, you know what? Being just regular racist is exhausting. Can we get the computer to do it? Well, yes, we can. Because no
Wow.
one has thought to what they're training this stuff on is what humans have written, our biases, our mistakes, our errors. AI makes mistakes all the time, and humans are lazy. And so if they think AI is the answer, it is a tool. But how many people train themselves how to use a tool properly, ethically?
No.
We're not about that here. So
Well,
So
not a fan.
also the people that are designing AI are what you might call relationally traumatized people. Like everyone in Silicon Valley are people like that are deeply wounded in terms of human interaction, which is why they become nerds and computer programmers and video gamers in the first place. So you've
right.
got this entire army of people who don't like people very much or people contact, and they want to build,
Mm.
and they're building a world in which everyone the thing is designed. I never understand why no one sees this. It's so obvious. They
Thank God
want a
you're here.
world where there's no human interaction because that is human interaction is something that they find disquieting, uncomfortable. These are people with relational, what's it called, avoidant attachment stuff issues, and so you got
Sure.
Musk and all these people in Silicon Valley are and nerds like Mark Zuckerberg. People go, "Oh, this Facebook is this wonderful." Facebook was designed by a angry, passive-aggressive, wounded computer nerd to strike back at women who wouldn't date him, and it still is that, right? Like people,
Interesting.
it's the exact same thing in the DNA. Why do you think people are fighting and it's causing all this discord? Because it was designed to do that. There is no then
Interesting.
yeah. Yes, I'm
I
telling you, no
learned
one
very
thinks
interesting.
about these things. No one
I
thinks about
don't.
these things. The worst
Zoe's
things
got to
about Facebook, I'm glad I'm going to say one more thing. The worst
go
things
right
about
ahead.
Facebook are the best things about it, meaning that the birthdays and all that stuff that people go, oh, I get to talk to my friend. Those are the, oh my God, those are the lures that keep you hooked. Those are the things that make you, that hide the vileness of the entire enterprise under this veneer of human connection that is actually divisiveness. Thank you. It's horrible. All the people behind it are trying to destroy social cohesion, human connection, compassion, humanity. It's all designed to do that by people who are deeply wounded by interacting with people, and they want to prevent that and get rid of it from our culture. And they're doing an amazingly effective job of it.
Interesting.
Yes.
Zoe, what do you think?
So 2 months ago, Facebook, this is just personal, Facebook financially incentivized me to start posting, right? Because
Really?
I'm rage bait. So I started posting, and about a month ago, things started to take off. So it's really bittersweet because I'm making money
Of
off of these
course.
reels. Getting
Yes, of course.
thousands
That's
of
how they
views.
get you.
But they're getting a
Yep.
lot of
That's how they
hate.
get
What do you
you.
post? Is it political? Is it
No, it's
personal?
just stand up. It's just stand up. And this one feminist joke that I like love dearly that didn't go anywhere on Instagram blew up on Facebook. And I've made like $100 off it. But all the comments are like just so misogynistic and unkind. But I'm making money off it. And I don't like my fan base. You know who's on Facebook? It's like 65 plus men. It's like somehow
Right.
worse than my Instagram fan base. Off
No
the
young men. It's not young men. Are younger men more on Instagram and TikTok, I imagine, right? That's wow. It's
shorts.
interesting to see how Facebook has what it's done. But Brian, some of that I'm sure it's true. I'm sure some people who are coders are listening, like, I have a relationship, I have kids and all that. But to me, I don't know if you saw recently more and more of the video. Wall Street Journal just did a report this week where they made their own video by way of AI. And I'd seen things before. What was really interesting about this, they didn't tell you what it was. They tell you it was AI is involved, but it's a story of a robot and a person. And you think at first, like, it's about, oh, wow, look at this robot can do all these things. And at the end, it's revealed the entire thing is AI. The robot was AI. The real people in the thing that you thought were real talking to a robot, they were AI. Everything was AI. And I thought it was kind of clever because you look at the robot like, wow, this robot's really realistic. This is kind of unnerving. Like the whole thing. You don't need
By
any
the
of
way,
this. You don't need I saw stand-up
and
comic clips that aren't real. They're not comedians at all.
no.
And they look real. I don't know what to say. I don't know what the future is.
No, it's amazing. I mean, the beauty of the one thing that I take some solace in the fact that stand-up comedy is so, and I every no probably every art form probably says this. Oh, they'll never recreate Jimi Hendrix,
Not
or
your
they'll never
ass.
do something like. They always said this about everything. So you go, oh, they'll never capture the thing, and you go, but, and I truly believe that comedy is because I can't explain why half of the stuff in my act gets a laugh. So I don't know how
Nor
they're
can
going to
I.
explain it to an yeah, thank you. That
Three
truly, yeah,
million,
yeah.
yeah,
Believe me,
three-quarters of the
yeah,
stuff in your act
I'm as
is funny.
baffled
Like, why are
by
they laughing? Where's the joke?
exactly. I
When I
have
watch
no
your act,
idea.
that's what I say all the
Yeah,
time.
that's what every time. You're having the same reaction that I do. And so if I can't explain it, but when people say it's artificial intelligence, I saw somebody talking about this and it was brilliant because they said it's not artificial intelligence, it's a representation of human intelligence that we are putting that in there. That is our intelligence in there. So it is not artificial in the sense that it is using all of our reasoning, our biases, our flaws and how we process information, and it's going to we can only hope that our humanity, which is somewhere in there, gets represented in there, which I don't tremendously have
No.
much hope for, simply because the people who are in charge of it, as I said, are the people who have the most technical skills and the least amount of human
Humanity?
qualities and connection to what makes them strive to build a civic and loving community, because that's the thing that they were most wounded by and they don't want. So there you go.
It is the theft of intellectual property on a grand scale, on the
Yes.
grandest of scales.
Yeah. Yes.
It's also it could replace industries of people. And I mean,
Whole swaths of
Musk wants
people.
robots, and that people are going to
Have you
there'll be less
have you
opportunities for
written
economic employment.
have you gone on any of the songwriting? Have you used it? I have. It's astonishing. It is so good. The AI is so good. I write better lyrics. They can't write. They write shit lyrics and they write shitty jokes. Okay,
For now.
They're not good with human language. You watch the jokes, there's a formulaic aspect to that, which I don't know if you can quantify an eye roll or something like that about what makes comedy funny. The deadpan quality of a Nate Bargatze or Norm Macdonald, or something that has a verbal amazing verbal acuity to it. But
Sure.
AI so far, I have seen no evidence that AI can write really
Leann's
good
right. That's
material.
now.
I,
They
I
were,
think
I
it's
know.
only a matter of time, just because it hasn't completely obliterated our industry does not lessen my horror and concern about other industries. We've rolled this out with the maximum amount of irresponsibility. We have not created a safety net for anybody. There's no universal basic income. There's no housing. What are we doing to put in place? Like, okay, fine, you want AI to do everything, so then everybody gets free housing, everybody gets free healthcare. We all get to now just play the flute and explore because we don't now have to work because AI is doing it. Why is everything
It's
expensive
weird.
if AI is doing it? If there's no cashier, we're not paying for cashiers, we're not paying health, we're not paying benefits, we're not paying any of that. Why is my food still expensive?
And
Like,
it is
the
getting
horror of this.
Yeah, and it is getting exponentially better so fast. Like the video now is like, and that was a couple of months ago. It wasn't good, and
oh,
now
you
it's
have to see it.
amazing, and it's only going to get better. And the only thing I say about the comedy thing is I only say that because I don't know how you would explain to an AI. Maybe AI can figure it out what makes something funny. I have several jokes in my act as Dean so viciously
You're very
used
funny, your act.
to
You're a
attack
killer
me. But
comedian. I
no,
don't
but
want
I'm
to follow
saying
you.
no, but I'm saying that thing where I go, I don't know why that's even funny. That doesn't even make any sense. You could put that on a board and try to explain it to somebody for hours, and I could name
That's, I
like
think,
three.
Greg Gutfeld's show's name. That's the title of Greg
Yeah,
Gutfeld's show's
right.
name.
Wow.
Why is this even
Yeah.
funny?
Yeah.
Sorry.
But at some point, audiences are not going to care because it's what they're being trained
Yeah, you're
on.
right. If they're
As an
enjoying it.
audience member, they don't care that a human being
Sure.
didn't paint that painting or write that song or tell that joke or process their paperwork. Like, that we're making
Very true.
ourselves irrelevant. I don't think that's
Well, yeah.
responsible.
I think if people don't raise their awareness of what is being done through technology. I've never been a big fan of technology from the very beginning. I was never. I use it, but I just feel like it is not the answer to the human
The
condition.
irony of being on Zoom and saying that. All right, we only got a few minutes left. Here's one thing that'll never be replaced by AI. Actress Cindy Sweeney, who everybody knows, is now selling a new soap that contains her actual bathwater, and AI can never replace this. And Cindy Sweeney, who's known from Euphoria and hosted SNL and other places, she said her exact quote. This is not a joke. She said, "When your fans start asking you for bathwater, you can either ignore it or turn it into a bar of Dr. Sasquatch soap. And now the bar is bathwater bliss." No, you could ignore that. There's not like that's not buying.
Doesn't she
Zoe,
have
I'm
enough
sure you get
money?
weird requests. What?
Doesn't she have enough money? Like, this is insane. Right?
No, she's getting. Look, I'm sure as a young woman, you do comedy. I can only imagine what's like.
We'd be asked all the time.
People
Someone
ask for your
owed me
bathwater?
$800 for my underwear. No.
Really?
Yeah. It was
And you didn't shit. You didn't
properly
sell it.
written.
Is
No.
there a price that you would sell it for?
No.
No, but she's selling her bathwater. I mean, how different? I'm not like, how different is that?
Underwear.
I get it, but it could be fake
Bathwater is
underwear.
disgusting.
It doesn't. It could be fake underwear. You
By
could
the way,
just say it's not
how
real
do you
bath.
confirm? How are you going to confirm that you got an
Thank
actual
you.
amount of Sydney Sweeney's?
It
Like,
doesn't
this is my
depend.
major concern here. My major concern about this is forget about all the other implications of this, but I feel this is ripe for swindling people because you sign up seriously. You sign up and you think you're getting a glass of Sydney Sweeney's bathwater. You don't know. You could be getting Julia Sweeney. You don't know who it is. You know,
That's from a
like
long
there could
time
be a
ago.
mix
Nice
up, right?
reference. Right. That's
Or
not.
right.
And
You don't
how
know
much time does
which.
she have to spend in the bathtub to do if she's really popular? Is she
Yeah.
always in the bathtub? Like she looks like a prune? Like it's real. Look at her. She's just completely drenched all the time. You're like, oh,
You
she's
have to
spending
get
a lot of time in the bath.
DNA testing. I don't know. If I order Dean Obeidallah's bathwater online, I want to
That would
know
be
that I'm
so,
getting a
that
real
would
deal.
You need a
First of all,
video.
I don't take a bath, but I would
I
have for
don't.
the right money, I would start bathing. If there's some princess in the Emirates, it's like, "Dean, I like your comedy, but I really like your bath water. Here's $1 million. I'm in the bath all day." Like, I don't leave the bathroom.
Yeah.
I don't think that's judgmental. I think that's what, but that's this, by the way, it'll be combined, her soap, with exfoliating sand and pine bark extract, in addition to some of Sweeney's real bathwater, which again is ripe for fraud, is Brian. That's the biggest part of the story, Brian.
That's what I'm
That
saying.
concerns me, is the fraud angle.
If I sign up for Dean Obeidallah's bathwater, I don't want to get Matt Thomasetti's.
You don't want,
Okay,
that's my
in there.
favorite.
I don't want
you-
that. Okay.
You get what you pay for.
Nothing personal, Matt, but I if I'm gonna sign up, I'm just saying.
Well, you pay
I
for
want
it.
to know.
You take the risk. Oddly enough, I am all for this. Sis, get your money. People
Sure.
want to spend money on silly stuff. Get every dollar. Does she have enough money? No, she doesn't, because she could get more. Because ain't nobody gonna want her water when she's 40. So get that money now, sis.
Okay.
Get your water now. I love Leighann.
By the way, Leighann,
you
that's
brought it home the
ageist.
Did I
right
sell
way.
my underwear? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, ma'am.
Leighann, that's ageist.
It doesn't have to be real
Yes, it
underwear.
is.
It can be
I didn't
fake
create
underwear.
the system.
Doesn't have to be
Just
yours.
game it while you can.
Yes, that's right.
And orange is the new
Is-
black. There was a storyline where prisoners were selling their underwear and making lots of money. I'm not advocating you do that. You do whatever you want, but I'm saying nobody would care. Like, none of us, you would care or not care, but you're spending the money on things and you're posting on Facebook for monetization. How much better is selling your underwear than posting?
Right.
What?
Selling your underwear sounds more profitable, to be honest with you.
It does. $100 for a clip. It took like 6 months. $800 for underwear. Time. Do the math. I'll do a business proposal right now. Look how much money you're going to make in 6 months.
Right. And if you
Done.
get that underwear at Costco, you are saving all kinds of money.
That's right. And
That's
I got
all
a call
profit.
I just got a call that someone was selling me Susan Wiles bathwater. The chief of staff. And
You said you're
you know
routing
what I mean?
me.
Yeah. I'm
Guys, you
getting-
brought it all home. All right. Before we
Yeah.
run out of time, I want everyone a chance to plug their work, whatever they do. Follow them, check out their gigs. Leighann, first, let me start with you, my friend. Where can people check out your work and follow you and all that kind of stuff? See your gigs.
Yes, my website and my calendar are veryfunnylady.com. I am living my best life, though, on Instagram and Blue Sky, and now Substack. Thank you so much for the recommendation. Folks are like, oh, Dean likes her? Well, I am there. And folks have been very, very kind and supportive there. I love it. Thank you.
It's very nice. And Zoe, my friend, I know you're always performing all over the city and traveling. Where can people check out your work?
Tonight I am headlining at the Bay State Comedy Lounge in Northampton, Massachusetts. I'm running 40 minutes. Tomorrow I'm in Woodbridge, Connecticut, doing 15 minutes at a brewery. So, and
What,
find me
40
on
minutes tonight?
Zoe Levy Comedy. Yeah.
I don't even have 40 minutes, and I'm doing comedy
Okay.
20 years. So what's your website again? I stepped on it. What is
Oh,
the
it's
website?
ZoeLevyComedy.com.
ZoeLevyComedy.com. And she's also on
And it's
Instagram. I follow you. Always post some funny stuff.
Zoe. Zoelevy. Thank
Got
you.
it. And Brian and you, and is your website SusanWiles.com? Like, what is your website?
No, but you can get my bath water at brianscottmcfadden.com, brianscottmcfadden.com if you order now. When does this air, by the way? When does this
Tonight.
air?
How's that? Is that
Tonight.
okay with you? Is that
I'll be
work
at
for you?
Governor's. I'll be at Governor's Comedy Club in Levittown, Long Island tonight and tomorrow. You can listen to my comedy podcast with me and Dustin Chafin called Chasing Comedy, where we analyze bits and try to come up with material on the fly. And Chasing Comedy, Brian Scott McFadden on social media, Brian Scott McFadden on social media, Brian Scott McFadden. Find me.
All right,
And
Brian. Well, you
yeah.
guys were all great. This whole show is brought to you by Cindy Sweeney's Bathwater. Make sure, if you're going to get bathwater, make it Cindy Sweeney's. All right. And the discount code is SS Sweeney. All right, you guys, thank you so much for being on. Have a great weekend.